Hi, my name is Wayne, and this is Type Tested. Just wrapping up the Smith-Corona Skyriter here. Beautiful, wonderful typewriter. And I thought I would take a moment to show how to replace the ribbon on these. So obviously the first thing you're going to have to do is lift the ribbon cover up, hit the shift key, put it in lock, jam a couple keys up, and then what you need to do here, lift to put the bottom past the guides, then pull down, and that's out. And just lift the two ribbon spools out. Now in this case, these are smaller spools than you would normally find, and they're of a slightly different variety, so you need to keep these. So what I'm going to do is I am going to simply so I'm going to wind this onto one side, and I should have done that before I took it off. Okay, and note that this uses a lever reverse system, so it's a ribbon that needs eyelets. Now this particular ribbon is held on with a clip. So take a screwdriver and kind of, So you got to hold one side while you push the other in order to release the semicircular clip. So let me lift this off, and let me quickly drain it into the trash can. Do that, put a spool through it, and just let it spool off. Take just a few seconds. All right, now I gotta do the same thing with the other ribbon spool. So hold the one side and push the other, and it's released. Now, I have a new monochrome ribbon here. Now you'll note these spools are too large, they will not fit, so I have to keep this spool. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take it off of the little spade here, if I can. There we go. And I'm going to attach it to the clip here, and it doesn't matter which way on this particular ribbon. So now I'm going to put the clip on, try to capture the edge, push it in place. Now this is obviously a plastic spool. I don't know what the vintage spools would look like. It's not entirely inappropriate for these things to have plastic spools. This is a 1959, and plastic started to take over in the 60s and 70s. So let me go ahead and put this back on here. And then I'm going to kind of trap the spool here with my hand while I use my fingers to wind the ribbon on to the new spool. Now, part of the reason I'm using a monochrome ribbon here is because this typewriter does not have a bichrome. So what you can do to extend the life of this ribbon is, as I said, it didn't matter which way was up. So you simply take the two spools, flip them over, and thread them back in, and you're now typing on the other half of the ribbon. And because this ribbon is too big, it doesn't want to fit on quite right, and it kind of keeps binding up. So let me just use my fingers here to hold it. Wrap that around there like it's supposed to be usually. It'll make it feed more easily, if it doesn't slip. And that's the problem with this. I'm almost done. Come on, cooperate. All right, we'll do the rest of this by hand, I guess. Now you'll note that this ribbon is mostly filling up this smaller spool. That's fine as long as it doesn't go past the edge. If it does, I'm going to have to improvise make something of an eyelet. So I'm almost there. Wind it a little tighter so I can get everything off of here. Okay, so there's the eyelet. And pull it off of that. Set that down there, put it back over here. The clip back on. Now, to put this back in, you'll notice there is a little bit of a protrusion right here. That is a key. That key, you just go into that slot, and it's open on either end, so it doesn't really matter, but it needs to go into one of those. Then it threads around the outside through the guide there. And we'll do the same thing for the other side here real quick. And I'm going to get the eyelet past the guide before I put it in it. The reversing lever, that is. Okay. Now to put it back into the ribbon guide. So pass it behind, bring it up, lift it past, and set it back down. And there we have it. There you go, more or less. So, replacing the ribbon on a Smith-Corona Skyriter typewriter, and the slide is a little full. If I have to, I will go back and trim some of it off, and for improvising a new eyelet, what I will probably do is take something like a couple of nylon washers, thin nylon washers, and put a hole in the ribbon and super glue them together to function as the eyelet. It doesn't need to be much, it just needs to be enough to catch on the guide and not interfere with the spooling of the ribbon. So there are various ways to do that. If I had an eyelet tool, I would put a proper eyelet in it, but I don't, so it would have to be improvisation. Anyway, That's all I wanted to do today. Once again, my name is Wayne, and this is Type Tested.